Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Nhlanhla Vilagazi, but you can call me JM. I am the operations specialist here at ALX, and I'm excited today to be your host for today's Fireside Chat titled My Career in Tech. But before we begin with everything, we just want to mention that earlier on we had a technical issue, but we are still going live, and our team will ensure that everyone who is watching right now will be redirected to the new link. So stay tuned as we have an amazing session for you. In today's fast-paced world, a career in tech opens up endless possibilities. The demand for skilled tech professionals continues to grow, and at ALX, we are proud to help learners unlock their full potentials by equipping them with the right tools to thrive in the ever-evolving industry. Technology is transforming lives, and its impact can be seen across every sector. Today, we are joined by three outstanding ALX graduates: Kelby, who is a software engineering graduate; Bada, who is a data science graduate; and Etop, who is an ALX AWS cloud computing graduate. They will be sharing their personal journeys, the challenges they've faced, and how ALX has played a key role in helping them succeed in the tech industry. Feel free to drop any questions you have for our panelists in the comment, and we'll be making sure that your questions are being answered as we go through the session. But before we begin with everything, I would like to hear more from our guests today. Starting with you, Kelby, thank you for joining us. Can you please tell us more about yourself, where you're from, and what you're currently doing in your career?
Okay, thanks, Jay. My name is Kalbi Zarigun. I'm a software engineering graduate at ALX, and I'm very passionate about technology since a young age. I used to binge tech shows and different shows regarding technology. My favorite one was Tech Talk with Salomon, and I finished learning the software engineering program at ALX Africa more than a year ago. Additionally, I'm a final year computer science student at St. Mary's University. I live in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and overall, I love the ALX community, and I'm currently actively participating in different events, both online and in person. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining again. Bada, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Can you tell us more about yourself, where you're from, and what you're currently doing in your career right now?
Thank you, Tata. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining this fireside chat. I'm Badu. I'm from Casablanca, Morocco. I've graduated from the data science cohort, the first cohort to graduate from ALX. I'm currently working as a data analyst in WeTech. We mainly work on optimizing machine learning models and improve data mapping. I'm currently pursuing a master's degree in data science. As I said, we're not stopping on the certification. We're going a step forward. I'm a fellowship ambassador and a country representative within the ALX community. And thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining. And then last but not least, Etop, thank you for joining. Can you please tell us more about yourself, where you're from, and what you're currently doing in your career?
Hi, everyone. My name is Izo. I'm from Ethiopia, and I finished the AWS cloud computing course. Currently, I'm a computer science student, so both learning and I have a part-time job where I develop software and websites, everything around that. In school, I was there's Google clubs. I was part of that. Now I'm part of the Microsoft club. So that's a little about me. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So, ALX experience, right? Kelby, I want to hear from you. When you first started to know more about ALX, how did you find out about ALX, and what convinced you that this was the right program for you, especially as you've done software engineering?
Okay. I first found out about the ALX through social media. In 2021, there is this promotional video on different television channels and different social medias like Telegram. And I found out about ALX and everything on the social media like Telegram and television channels. And this software engineering program helped me a lot in kickstarting my career journey. As I mentioned before, I'm very passionate about technology, and learning software engineering was one of my career goals. And when I come to Addis Ababa, I was looking for a software engineering course to learn more about software engineering and to deep dive more about this field. But unfortunately, I was registered for computer science education. But still, there is a relation between computer science and software engineering. But I was more interested in software engineering part, doing practical things like coding and developing applications and websites. And as I begin the computer science education, at the same time, I found out that ALX is giving software engineering course, and I was very happy at that time because this is what I wanted. And I immediately registered and applied for the ALX software engineering program. At that time, the application process was very hard. Um, as a beginner, the application process was very hard, and because it was making a website using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript at that time, which is very hard because I don't have much background doing these things like websites, and I don't have much knowledge knowing different programming languages like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But although it was hard, it was worth applying for, and I go for it. And when I joined the software engineering program, it was also very hard because it takes commitment, consistency, and different things. So I got into it, and it was a very great journey, and it's very interesting. So it was a very interesting journey.
Wonderful. I definitely do agree with you. You know, being part of ALX definitely takes commitment, and it also takes consistency as well. And, you know, it doesn't matter the background that you're from, you know that when you're in one of our programs, there are going to be people who are going to help you to reach that milestone that you are looking for. But the same question for you. Can you please tell us more about how you found out about ALX and what convinced you that data science was the right program for you?
So for ALX, it was a very, I would say random the way I got across the program. One of my friends shared it with me on WhatsApp and said, "Hey, maybe you would like to jump into that." I was working at the time at Dell Technologies, and I didn't know really what I wanted to do with my life. And I was looking for something I could be passionate about. And I was starting to look into machine learning, AI, and data science, and that friend was aware of that. And when it was promoted, it was like it was for everyone with no background. So I was like, since I don't have any background, maybe this is the right time for me to jump into something actually that I want to do, because I did a lot of research on it. And I think ALX was the right way to kickstart my journey, my career in data science. Fast forward now to 14, 15 months since the program started. I'm working as a data analyst. I'm applying this knowledge every day, being it from the foundation or the tech program in my day-to-day job. So I'm really grateful for ALX for the program that she provided.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I think also it speaks to the community aspect of, you know, ALX. You never know who you're going to meet or who is going to refer you to a life-changing opportunity. Etup, same question. Can you also tell us more about how you found out about ALX and what is it that convinced you, especially with AWS? I would say it's probably one of the most niche, you know, industries. And what convinced you to say, I want to do AWS with ALX?
So how I found out was through my friends. They said ALX was a good course. You should definitely check it out. But they were only teaching software engineering at that time. So I wasn't convinced. I thought it would be redundant since I'm also doing computer science. So I waited a little time, and then ALX announced a few new courses, data science as well, AWS, everything. So at that point, I was already into cloud, so I know that cloud is the future of software. So most software is going to be on the cloud if it isn't already on the cloud. So and one other thing is AWS is a pioneer, one of the pioneers, one of the early starters in the whole cloud space. So most other cloud providers are based on AWS, so their services are very similar. They're not that different. So if you understand AWS, if you understand how it works, you won't really have trouble working with other cloud providers. For example, we have our own local cloud provider in Ethiopia called Telecloud. Our main telecom provider provides that service, and what I saw is it's very similar to AWS. So the services are really similar. Even the names are kind of similar. So if you understand AWS, you could be a more well-rounded software developer as well. So when you develop software, you need to understand how you're going to make it cloud native, how it's going to run on the cloud. So it's a really good course. I recommend people that are interested to take it.
Definitely, I agree with that. There's definitely so much to learn with AWS. I mean, as a professional, you get to unpack so many elements of what it takes to be in this industry. But I have a quick question for you. So with so many learning opportunities available, I mean, we're living in a digital age right now. What would you say makes ALX stand out for you?
I think there are two things that stand out from the rest of the program. The first one is it's a well-rounded program. I never saw any programs before having like a foundation program, then move into the tech program. And this is what we're lacking currently in the market. Most people are professionals that have a lot of expertise in tech, but they don't have the foundations, which is like the soft skills that we actually need on a day-to-day job. The second thing is the community. When you're being a part of a bigger image in ALX, you see that you contribute to something. As you know, it's ALX Africa, and we as North Africans, being, for example, ALX Morocco or ALX Egypt, now we feel that we have a more of an African identity and we are more connected to the rest of the countries. So this identity and this foundation program were the most things I feel proud of and that I currently enjoy doing within my job, because I feel that ALX brought me something that other programs would not have brought me if I invested that much time and energy in it.
Awesome. I like the fact that you touch on the aspect of community. I want to unpack that question, but later on. You also mentioned foundations, which I really like, because it really speaks about the impacts that we have within our programs. So for everyone who's watching right now, when you go through an ALX program, you go through foundations. So foundations basically helps you to navigate the world of work, the world of corporate, or wherever you want to land to. We want to hone in into making sure that you become the best version of you before you go into specialization. This helps you to be a more well-equipped individual. And I want to hear from everyone here. I want to start with you, Etup. Beyond the technical skills that you've learned with AWS, how did the ALS program help you develop essential soft skills, soft skills like communication, collaboration, and problem solving?
So when I took the ALX program, I didn't understand how much soft skills are necessary in the tech world. So I've talked to senior developers, and what they've said is technical skills could be solved, like you could Google it, you could use ChatGPT, you could use different resources to solve your technical problems. But one of the main problems in software development and the tech industry as a whole is soft skills. So you need to understand the requirements of clients. And to understand that, you need to be able to, you need those soft skills to properly communicate, to understand what they want and what questions to ask and how to ask them, how to properly ask those questions. So soft skills are really important. The technical skills are also important, but ALX emphasizes also on the soft skills, which have been really useful. So personally, I have held a few workshops of my own at school. And ALX has given, like what I learned in ALX, how to communicate, how to present yourself, has really helped me in presenting and making those workshops successful.
Wonderful. I want to hear about those workshops when we're talking about community, because I think this is very important, you know, in the journey. How the program or how ALX has helped you to develop the essential skills, the soft skills rather, that have been instrumental in your career.
Okay. The soft skills that ALX is currently giving as a course is a very instrumental in my career journey, and it helped me a lot while navigating or while working what I'm doing now. So these soft skills are what sets apart the ALX from the rest of the course providers or different universities. When we see traditional universities, they do not give soft skills like communication, leadership, or problem-solving skills. They just give you the technical skills or the hard skills. For example, they will teach you the programming language and the different technical skills, and the soft skills will be your part to cover. So ALX teach different soft skills like communication, leadership, and different soft skills that will help us in our career journey. So I think this sets apart the ALX from the rest of other course providers. The ALX provides world-class content, which is very beneficial for African talent, because they can work anywhere from Africa remotely. For example, they can freelance by doing Upwork jobs, or they can do different jobs remotely. So it's very good that these contents are international and they are world-class contents. And in ALX, even after you graduated, there is a support from the staff. You will be crafting your resume. You will be optimizing your LinkedIn profile, and you will be practicing different interviewing skills with your peers. And I think this is a very great way to kickstart your career journey. And I think this is what sets ALX apart from other different course content providers. And last but not least, the community is a very great place to be. Currently, there are hubs in different parts of Africa, and these hubs are very beneficial to network with each other, to learn from one another, and to do different projects at the hubs. Additionally, these hubs provide uninterrupted internet connection and Wi-Fi, and it's very instrumental in navigating our career journey, I think.
Awesome. I like the fact that you touched on, university. I think most of the people who are in this journey of wanting to do a career in tech, they have a degree of some sort in a, institution, and the traditional method sometimes doesn't work, which is what the sentiment we're getting from most people who are going through the program. They always feel there's a gap, and ALX is filling that gap, and also goes beyond that. It teaches you things that you never knew. And also, you mentioned a lot of things about the hub, access to just community. It also just, speaks about the commitment that we have in making sure that when you go through the programs, you're not just, doing the programs, but you also gain more from what you have hoped for. But the same question for you. Can you also tell me about, beyond the technical skills, how would you say the program has helped you to hone in on your essentials, soft skills?
For the soft skills, I'm going to touch on another part, which is, for example, the process of getting a job. This is one of the things that I actually like during the foundation. Proof of it, the template that I'm currently using for my resume is a template that I got from the foundations. And how I created my identity on LinkedIn. As you know, as a tech professional, you need to have some sort of identity online, be it on Twitter, on LinkedIn, or any other platform that shows that you are actually a tech professional with some capabilities, and you have to have your personal brand. And I feel like after 1 year of being within the ALX community in general, being in the program or the foundations, my identity is getting clearer and better on the platform that I'm currently using. So, for example, people would jump easily on my LinkedIn, see that I'm a data professional. This is what I'm capable of. And I think I wouldn't be able, I had some knowledge on how to brand myself, but to hone it and to have like a representable image to present myself as a data professional, Alex contributed greatly to that. The other thing in the foundation is how to navigate the corporate world. On a daily basis, we communicate with senior manager. Sometimes, for example, during the last weeks, I had to present one of my dashboards to senior management and communicate on those numbers. And this is something that I learned during the foundation, how to communicate information the right way and how to share these insights from a technical person to a non-technical person.
Cool, awesome. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate the fact that you shared so many valuable points, especially navigating the corporate world. We never really thought about those skills. Like, how do you even communicate? So I'm glad that you were able to learn how to present yourself and also just working on your brand as a professional. Don't forget, for everyone who's watching right now, if you have any questions for our guest today, please put them in the chat. We'll make sure that we answer your questions as we go along. So now I want to move to the program highlight. Starting with you, Kelby. What was your aha moment? That moment where you said and realized the true impact of your skills and your potential?
I think this aha moment came for me when I started working on projects. Once I learned different programming languages and the tools to learn, I started to apply this knowledge and skills to different projects. And at ALX, when working on projects, you obviously do it with your peers. You get support from different peers that work with you, and you learn from each other. You ask questions, and others also will learn from you different things. And I think for me, I realized that my true impact or my skills shine through different projects that I was doing at ALX. And I think so. Yeah, I think doing on projects was the highlight of my impact.
Wonderful. I like the fact that you keep talking about community and collaboration. It makes me so happy because, this is all part of the big thing about ALX, what makes ALX special and unique. Still on you, Kelby, was there any project or challenges during your time at ALX that pushed you or inspired you the most? And how would you say that helped you grow?
Yeah, okay. The project that inspired me so much was the portfolio project that I presented at the end of my software engineering program. This portfolio project was done in group of four, and we, as a team, we were able to communicate each other and go through different phases of the project. And this at this time, there was a challenge in my end because there was no enough internet connection, and there was unstable internet connection in Ethiopia. And at that time, when working on my portfolio project, different teams were supporting on me because I wasn't be able to provide fully, and different peers were working for me, working with me. So we worked all together through the project, and we presented this project. And this portfolio project also helped me to learn different skills and to apply the skills I've learned at ALX through the projects. And I want to advise different students that that are upcoming. Doing projects and showing your skills is what it takes to get a job. So you have to go, you have to currently it's not LinkedIn or resume mostly shown. The projects that you are doing are what they are like a portfolio or which shows your skills. And I think I would encourage different learners and students to work on projects to show their skills.
I like that. I like that of, especially with when you're learning and especially the projects that are, when you're specializing in the programs, it's not just projects that, for the sake of doing, the program. These are real life projects that are going to be added to your portfolio. When you go to that workspace, when you go to the corporate space and people are actually seeing your work, you don't just going to be there and say, I don't know what to do. You're going to be backed up by the real life project. You're going to know what you want to do. I really like that. Thank you so much for sharing, Kelby. Eto, I also want to hear from you. What was that moment during the ALX program where you realized its true impact on your skills and your potential?
I mentioned this earlier, but I experimented with different cloud providers. And then I really understood that what I learned in ALX, especially on the technical side, was really useful. So that was one aha moment. And then other than that, we presented, we had this project during foundations, we did in groups, and then we presented, we made a YouTube video, we presented it. So our ALX Ethiopia really liked that project, and they encouraged us to apply for Founders Academy and present it there as well. And during that event, what happened was we presented it to people from MasterCard Foundation, and there were other audiences as well. But that moment gave me real confidence that our projects, our ideas are really, they have a place in this world. So that the ideas we come up with, we could really keep on going with them, and they could be something big and huge. They could have huge impacts. And that sort of feedback I got from that event was really great. That was one big moment for me.
Well, that's actually wonderful. Like presenting to MasterCard Foundation, that's a big thing. It just shows that at ALX, I will keep saying that, it's all about community, it's all about collaborating, and also people want to see you grow. You don't just get a certificate and then you're done. You have to grow within this community. We do hard things. Still on the same topic of doing hard things. Were there any challenges, Eto, that you say you have experienced during your time at ALX? And how have those challenges pushed you and inspired you the most and helped you grow?
So one thing that I like about the foundations is it talks about topics that you don't normally talk about with people, especially like one thing is negotiating. So, when you negotiate your salary and everything, you're not that confident. And then ALX has given me those skills to communicate. So it has helped me grow overall. And one of the main challenges I have technically is computer networks, understanding how computer networks operate and everything. So as we know, AWS is cloud. So basically it's something that's on the internet. So you need to understand the fundamentals of networking. And it's always been some sort of it's hard to understand for me. Like I need to take, it's been like that thing that I took time on. So the course has helped me go through it slowly and then understand because it has so many intricacies. And so by the course that I took, it really helped me understand it because I also take it at school, but I didn't really understand what it was and how it worked. So that was one of my main challenges in technical side.
Awesome. Thank you for that. But same questions as I've been asking Kelby and Etup. Can you tell us more about your aha moment where you realized that, oof, the impact has been made in my life, in my skills, and I can see the potential right now?
I believe the impact that I'm currently seeing or that I currently experiencing was during my current job. We rely heavily on SQL and Python on a day-to-day basis. And every time I'm writing a script in my phone, I'm like, I'm really grateful I did this during ALX and I learned it, and I took the time to learn it because if I hadn't, I think I would have a struggle even going through my technical interview and also being the extra years, right? Other than that, I think also presenting the dashboards. When we had working on projects like Majindogo, which is a project for sustainability, I think communicating information and displaying it in an easy way for everyone to understand. Whenever I make a design of my dashboards to present it to people, like this is something I'm really proud of because I learned it in ALX and I'm proud to show it to people. And every time I share with people, they be like, "But how do you do this? Why is it so easy for you to do it like this?" And I'm like, I've been through 12 months of program during ALX, and it's been challenging, and now it's rewarding. So thank you again, ALX.
Challenging and rewarding. You are doing things that people are confused on how you're doing it, but because you have went through this incredible program, things tend to be easier. I really like that. Were there any project or challenges that you faced during your time as you were doing the data science program? Those challenges that pushed you and inspired you the most, and how would you say it helped you grow?
I think the most challenging part about the data science program was when we moved to the Python and machine learning side. And I think everyone in the data science cohort would agree with me because for us people with no background, it was something completely new. And we had to double the work and the effort so we can understand it. Like you would realize on the program that you would need to do your own research, you need to do like other projects outside of the ALX program so you can really involve them. And I think if I hadn't the ALX community and the other students, I'd probably have maybe dropped out. Whenever I walked into the hub and I found other data science students, like I'm struggling with this or I'm struggling with that. And they were like, we are struggling with the same thing. Maybe if we work on it all together, we could figure something out. And it always worked. It's completely like magic. Whenever I walk there and we just like 2-3 people, we do this or we separate the tasks so we can understand. Sometimes we take time to explain to each other the concept so we can understand them better. And this is what helped me move forward. Like I had a lot of obstacles during the learning program, and I'm grateful for my peers if they're watching now for helping me go through it until.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Eto, I have a quick question for you. What would you say was the most exciting moment or a milestone for you during the AWS program?
It's kind of similar to what I answered earlier, but the most impactful thing that AWS has taught me is like understanding cloud, the technical side, it transfers to different cloud providers. So I knew that I didn't spend some time I didn't waste my time learning something that was only going to be used for Amazon. So I know that AWS is found. If you understand AWS, you can understand many other technologies that work with cloud. So once I went to other cloud providers such as Azure, Google Cloud, they were all very similar. So I was like, even if I don't find a job in AWS specifically, I could find jobs in cloud related. I could find jobs that were cloud native, so I could work with cloud as a software engineer in the cloud. So that was one of what I was happy about when taking this course.
Awesome. Cool. So we've been talking about the programs, the journeys that we went through, the skills. Now it's time for community. I've mentioned earlier that we are very big when it comes to community. I think it just translates to other things outside of this conversation right now. When you're part of something, when you're belonging in a group, you tend to actually be better and be a better person. Kelby, I want to ask you, how did connecting with your peers or mentors at ALX shape your learning experience? And can you share moments when the community support played a role in your success?
Okay. Um, I have learned a lot by connecting with my peers and mentors at ALX, especially during my learning journey. When we are given different projects, we used to collaborate with different peers and work on different projects. Uh, we ask one another and learn from each other. Um, Most people nowadays asking questions, they take asking questions as not knowing, or they feel inferior when asking different questions. But at ALX, asking for help or asking for different questions is the best normalized thing. And while others fear to ask for questions, students of ALX are or already know they have normalized asking for help and different questions, because that's how we can learn from each other, and that's how students can learn from each other. And by asking and sharing what I know, we create a bond within the community. Within the ALX community, we create a bond. Uh, we ask for each other different questions and do different projects together. So through this process, we create a bond, and we create the ALX community. And it's a great place to be. And I love the ALX community very much. Throughout the program, the community was a great support system for me. The mentors, the peers, different staff members helped me a lot. Even if I have different questions, or if I have the technical problems with my scores or different things, I ask it for the staff to correct that things, and it will be corrected immediately. So I would say that the ALX community, both our peers, the mentors, and the ALX staff, was a supportive system for me throughout my learning journey. And to mention an example, during our software engineering ALX program, uh, we, we do some work, and it was manually reviewed with other peers. Uh, what we have done is reviewed by other peers. So this is called manual review. It was done by peers which are at the same cohort as mine. So these peers give me constructive feedback to improve my different works. And this constructive feedback also helped me a lot in learning different skills and improving my technical skills as well.
I like that. I like the fact that you mentioned that, the mentors and the community, they are very open to asking questions, which is one of the biggest things I would say many people struggle with when it comes to asking questions. You don't know when to ask questions. Sometimes you're scared. And I appreciate the fact that community here is open to helping everyone. You can ask questions. No question is stupid. You have to make sure that you are open, to actually collaborate with people. So Kelby, something very, wonderful about you is that you mentioned, the community of software engineering. You also had your own community that you created on the side. Can you please tell us more about that group and what was the purpose of that group?
Okay. The group which we created, ALX, is called ALX Study One. ALX Study One is a group of learners and graduates. This community mainly works on community building. Most learners, after they graduated, they just leave ALX after they find a job, or after they find some internships or some full-time jobs. They didn't. Most of them don't come back to ALX again. So to solve that, we are organizing a community, and we are doing different community building tasks in ALX in partnership with ALX Ethiopia. So they guide us through different things to do this. For example, we are hosting different events in collaborating with ALX Ethiopia, and mostly we work closely with ALX Ethiopia team. So we host different events. We engage in different community building activities. For example, we recently collaborated with a community building called Chawatawaki and Fuyegala. These communities they do different tasks or different games, and they are mostly engaged in game thinking and design thinking. We collaborated with them and hosted an event, and it was a very fun and great way to come this community together. So it was great. Yeah, ALX Taiwan in general works in community building and hosting different events, and its aim is to bring back the ALX learners and graduates together to form a sense of community. And anyone who wants to join from Ethiopia can join it anytime. Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I was about to ask if for people who are in Ethiopia, how do they join? But you've heard it. If you want to join ALX Taban, please make sure that you connect with Kelby on LinkedIn. You go to our hub, find out more information, and make sure that you are part of this wonderful community that they're building from themselves in ALX Ethiopia. But I also want to hear from you on the community side. How did connecting with your peers and your mentors shape your learning experience? And what are those moments where community have supported you and played a key role in your success?
I think there is something that was repeated to us during the program, and this is a quote: "If you want to walk fast, walk alone, and you want to walk far, walk together." I think there was countless time that we heard this program, and I only felt it when I met with other students and other peers within the program. You would feel the impact of the community on a first touch, like for example, on the Karibu ceremony. We were like 8,000 people coming to a stadium and seeing all those people sharing your goals or sharing your dreams, whatever you want to do out of Africa. And the second thing is during the foundation, we were people from different programs working on the same program, sharing our knowledge from different backgrounds, just trying to be there for each other and help them move forward. And I would feel like people would always hold you accountable when you lack on the work, or you have thoughts about dropping out. I would see people telling other people, "You can do it, you can move forward, just keep working. How can we help you?" And this kind of having your hand always laid to other people to give them help and to support them. I always love this about the experience. And fast forward to the graduation, after we graduated, I had a lot of people referring me to the jobs. And actually now I'm currently working with two ALX peers that worked in the data science cohort, and I was able to refer them to my company. So it is like a whole journey where the company started with you from the Caribou until the post-graduation. And it's just a chain of events that makes you grateful that you are part of this community and you want to stay part of this community.
Wonderful. It's a chain of events that are starting from Caribou until you get employment. So one thing about that is interesting about you, Pada, is that you were actually, I'm not sure if you still are, but you were actually a super community ambassador. Can you please tell us more, what is that and what is the purpose of being an ambassador? What made you want to go through that journey?
So being a super fellowship ambassador is basically wanting to give back to ALX. That was how I thought about it. I thought ALX gave me the program and it gave me everything I needed: the hub, the community, the mentors. And I was like, I want to give something back to ALX. My knowledge, my effort, my energy, anything I could give back. And that's when the fellowship program came. I was invited to join the fellowship program, and I jumped at the occasion because I want people to know how much ALX can change their life. I wanted people to know that if they come into ALX and to believe in this African dream, they can move forward. They can have a huge impact. They can make Africa the next tech hub by 2030. And more to that, I was able to organize some events. For example, I had the first ever fellow class made in Casablanca, North Africa, for a data science fellow class. I was able to host and co-host a lot of events that we had within the fellowship community. This is all to say that being a fellowship ambassador is my first step to giving back to ALX. This is my way of saying thank you to ALX for having me. Thank you for ALX for allowing me to be a data scientist. And thank you for everything you've done to me so far.
Wonderful. This is such an important, I'll probably say this is like an important job. Giving back, it's not only just about learning, it's about, making an impact to someone's life. So thank you so much for being an ambassador, for being a voice for young people in Morocco. And I'm pretty sure whoever has come across you appreciate the fact that you are able to guide them through this journey. Etop, also want to ask you the same question when we're talking about community. How did connecting with your peers and mentors shape your learning experience? And do you have any special moments where support has played a key role? Oh, I think we just lost Etop for there. Okay, no, it's fine. We're gonna continue. Etop is gonna join in. I have a question for you, Badam. What would you say was the most challenging skill that you had to learn, and how did you master this skill?
I would divide that into two skills, one soft skill and one hard skill. The actual soft skill is speaking to an audience. I felt like I had a hard time before. I was always the shy person in the corner. A lot of IT people just stay in the corner, they program, make code, and just move forward with their lives. And speaking to an audience and communicating ideas and inspiring people is something that I have learned the hard way, because I had to come out of my cocoon and start being more of a brave person, I say, when I communicate to strangers. And this also impacts my networking skill, because now when I'm in a networking event or wherever I can network, I don't feel shy or afraid to engage a new person and just have a random conversation about whatever, being it about work or any other things related. For the hard skill, I would say it would be machine learning. Machine learning requires a background in statistics and maths, which I lacked. Python was quite easy to pick up, but applying machine learning and understanding the fundamentals of machine learning, so we can make models from scratch or bring innovative ideas, that was quite tough to learn. But we went through it. We're still doing it now. It's a never-ending journey of learning. I'm still today learning a lot of things about machine learning within the science environment, and hopefully I will keep learning and looking forward.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you for sharing. I think everyone who's watching and myself, there are moments where we're shy, where we don't know what we want to say. We want to say something and we say the wrong thing. And I'm glad that you are actually able to go through that, with the foundations, where you are able to come out of your cocoon and actually, be selling yourself. Because being in the tech industry, I think it's very hard, if you can agree with me. And, having these essential skills is very important. So awesome. Kelby, I want to ask you the same question. What was the most challenging skill that you had to learn, and how did you master that skill?
Okay. As Badr said, I will divide the skills into two: the technical skills and the soft skills. From the technical skills, learning C was a bit challenging for me, because at that time I was new to the concept. I hadn't any background about technical things like programming language and different frameworks. So learning C was a bit challenging for me. When talking to the soft skills, the consistency was a bit challenging for me, because ALX program requires consistency and commitment to it, because it was very hard at that time. Learning the software engineering was very hard for me, but I developed consistency skills and commitment skills through time. So I mastered these skills by forming habits. I form habits, small habits that when I always get up early from bed, I practice these habits, and when these habits formed, they created a routine, and it was easy for me to do that after some time, because I already created habits. So it was great learning these consistency skills and commitment. Um, and this also helped me not at ALX, at learning ALX software engineering program, but outside of ALX, it also helped me in my life, because consistency is a great thing, because when you repeat some things, um, it leads to great things. So consistency skill and commitment skill was one of my soft skills, which I have developed at ALX, and from the hard skills, I would say React also.
I like that. I like that because, I think for people who have gone through the software engineering program or still considering taking that program, they have to know that it's not easy because, I mean, doing hard things. I like the fact that you mentioned consistency, which is very, very important. And, learning those habits. I think it just also for everyone, whichever program that you are in, it's all about, being consistent. It's all about, learning those habits to make sure that you are reaching your milestones, to make sure that you're actually building your career. So I really like that. Etop is back online. Etop, are you good? Is everything good?
Yes, sorry, I had trouble with electricity.
Ah, no worries. I'm so sorry about that. So before you left, we were actually talking about community, and I wanted to find out from you, how did connecting with your peers and your mentors help shape your learning experience? And were there any moments during your journey that you felt that the community supported you?
So in terms of teamwork, we were assigned to a group of four. We didn't know each other, so we had to pick up from there and communicate. We had to understand each other. We had to come up with a project. So it was all new to me, because usually in school, especially, we do projects with people we know. But here we didn't know each other. We had to agree on different ideas. So it was a new experience for me. I enjoyed it because I got to communicate with people that I never met. So it helped me go out of my comfort zone. In terms of community overall, if you want to really understand something, you have to explain it to someone else. So, as I said earlier, I had some technical workshops where I explained my understanding of it. And when I explain my understanding, I have to actually do more research than I normally know, because to go out in front of people, you need to be more confident. So I did my own research, and I enjoyed that process. It helped me grow it helped me be more confident in myself, because I really had to understand what I was talking about, and I really enjoyed that part.
I like that. Um, I think one of the most interesting thing that I'm seeing here is that everyone here is committed to just the betterment of other people. It's not only just about yourself, it's about community, it's about making a change in someone else's life, which is very, very amazing. And I think for someone who either in the community, or you're already in the community or thinking of joining, you will come across people who will change your life in any way. You will come across people like Kelby who have, their own groups, and, they're making a change on someone else. Bada, being like a community ambassador, and, or, with Etop, who is committed to making sure that he is preaching the importance of skills in today's world. So I really like that. So now I want to talk about the skills, the application of skills. So you've learned the skills, you've met with people, they've taught you things that you've never known. But I want to start with you. When you think of your day-to-day responsibilities, you touched on earlier on that, the people who you're working with, management, they're happy with your work. What does your day-to-day look like in your current role?
So basically my day goes as follows. I would say in the morning, first thing first, I just open my emails because I would like to know what's happening. If I have any texts, people trying to reach me, I will check my Slack channel also if there is any updates or news or important things that I need to go through. Then after that, I will just go through my schedule. So what I do is that I use Jira, so I have all my tasks on Jira there, and they are split into subtasks. And because in a data job or any tech job, we usually work on a huge project, and the easiest way to, I'd say, engage your project is breaking it into smaller projects. This way, you can work on small blocks and not feel overwhelmed by the whole project. So I start working on those subtasks, and as I said, I would usually use for example, SQL or Python, or update some dashboard. For example, sometimes we have urgent tasks that come within our schedule, and you just put them as a priority. For example, build a report to a senior management that needs to be discussed on a senior management call, and you just need to send it forward. By the end of the day, you need to share your insight or whatever you came up with, or the progress of your work. And that's basically it.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Same question for you, Kelby. When you think of your day-to-day responsibilities and what you're doing, what does your day look like in what you're currently doing in your current role?
Okay, currently, as a backend developer at Ethiopian Health Professional Students Association, first thing in the morning, I wake up and check my emails. I check for if there's something new, or if there's something new notifications or something. Then I go to the portal, and as well I will check some different new notifications. So after that, I engage with peers. For example, in Ethiopia, we have a squad on the portal. So I communicate with them. Some things, for example, it might be good morning message, or checking up friends or something like that. So I communicate a little bit with them in the portal. So after that, I open up my PC and start working on a project which we already started doing. So there is a documentation which we worked on before starting the project. So I look up at that documentation and start working on what should be done. And after reviewing the documentation, I started coding, and I started to implement what the documentation what's mentioned in the documentation. So I started coding and doing some, and started doing with others. For example, it might be collaborating with peers or different colleagues at my company. So I started collaborating with them and coding. For example, it might be currently we are doing project learning management system, which is the backend which is written in Django, and Django is a framework from Python. So we do it in Django. So for example, in the morning, I will review some things about Django. For example, it might be reading some articles or what's new in the news or something like that. So after that, I started coding with my colleagues and do different things. As I mentioned earlier, I'm a member at ALX Taiwan. So I have to check with other vice presidents. I'm the vice president as well. So I will check on other vice presidents if meetings are held in this week. So after I communicate with them, if there are meetings, I set up meetings and tell to all the ALX Taiwan members that we will be having meetings. For example, we regularly have meetings on Tuesday 5 p.m. So at that time, every team member comes together online or it might be in person or online. So we come together and discuss different issues and different topics. For example, if events are going to be hosted at ALX Hub, we will be talking about that. For example, who will take different roles. For example, who will be usher, who will be for example, who will be the speaker or the host, or different things like that. We will be discussing at the meeting. So after that, after we discussed on the meeting, it will be posted on the on our Telegram group. And then after that, we will be reviewing that and prepare for the event in advance. So after that, after the meeting, yeah, as I said, it will be posted on the group, and we will prepare for the event as well.
Awesome. I must say that Kelby has probably the most jam-packed schedule I've had. You have the jam-packed schedule. I think it also shows that the consistency and the habits that you've learned through the project are really paying off, because you are now able to actually do and handle so many things at once, especially in your line of work. So thank you so much for sharing that. Etop, same question for you. Can you please tell us more about your day-to-day responsibilities? What does your day look like in your current role?
So currently, I'm a full-time student, so I have a side job, but it's part-time. So mainly, I usually check my emails in the morning before I go to school. Other than that, usually what's in my role, like if it's AWS or cloud related, we pick the services earlier in advance. So once we pick those services that we're going to use, we might change it later on, but once we decide on it, we go on to the development of the software or the websites. And after we develop it, we have to deploy it on the cloud. So once we deploy it on the cloud, we check if everything's running, if it's working fine. So it's not too new, but that's what I do on a day-to-day.
Wonderful. We have a question here, and I was hoping, Etop, that you could help me answer it. So the question says, how has your perspective changed on what you were capable of achieving? I'm guessing from the beginning, we were doing the AWS and you probably had different, expectations. How has that perspective changed from then?
So for me personally, like I didn't explain earlier, but I'm a Google Club in my school. I was the lead. So the way I even became a lead is through the people I met in ALX. So someone I met there really highly recommended that I join, that I become a lead. I didn't have the confidence then, but he was really convinced, and that has really helped me in my personal journey. So it gave me that confidence that I didn't have before. Also, I said earlier that I'm part of a Microsoft club. And in ALX, we had to record videos of ourselves explaining our projects. And I was shy. I wasn't confident in front of the camera. So it really gave me that confidence. So overall, like I said, confidence so many times, but it really did give me confidence. Other than that, also doing hard things. So the whole continuous learning, it's really hard because learning by yourself, it's a really hard thing to do. You have to have the motivation, you have to have the drive to just keep on learning. So in a way, in ALX, they've taught us like the basics, like the foundations. They told us to explore many things. And you have to really take your time and explore those things. So if you're in AWS, I recommend as well, like we're understanding how software development works. And ALX in the foundations, they tell you like this is they give you specific modules on like software development, data analytics. So you keep on exploring, and so you become more well-rounded, and that has really helped me in my journey.
Wow, wonderful. I really like that. Thank you so much for sharing, Etop. So as we are coming close to our session, everyone who's joining right now, whether they are still in the the ALX community or they are prospective applicants who wants to know more about the community and everything, how to navigate this tech world, this world of building a career in tech. I want to start with you, Kelvin. What learnings and advice can you give others who want to pursue a similar career as you?
Okay, I want to advise that ALX is just more than taking a course, or ALX gives you just more than a course. It gives you a community and a network. You can be in that community and network with each others, not only in your country. You are not just limited in your country. You are free to network with others across Africa, and you will have different peers from all over Africa. For example, I might be here and I can communicate someone from Kenya or from South Africa. So ALX gives you a community. You will be in a community which is supportive and which gives you everything that you want. And additionally, ALX gives you opportunities. For example, it might be different job opportunities, networking opportunities, or opportunities, for example, opportunities like attending online events or in-person events at your house. So by staying active in the community and learning from each other, ALX is a great place to be. So for anyone who is considering to apply for ALX program, I would say go for it. You will not regret it. You will learn a lot from ALX, not only the technical skills, also the soft skills, and you will network with others. You will be in a great community, and I would say go for it for anyone who wants to apply and have interest in ALX programs.
Wonderful. Go for it. You will not regret it. I love that. But also same question for you as we're closing. What learnings and advice can you give others who want to pursue a similar journey as you, or a similar career rather?
I would give two pieces of advice. And I would again categorize them in a hard advice and a soft advice, if we can call them this. For the soft advice, I would say invest in your network, invest in the peers that you currently have, or that you are gonna have in ALX. The network is huge. And one of these people can be your manager, your colleague, or can be the person that brings you your next opportunity, or at least guide you to the next opportunity. So the more you invest and put time into strengthening your connection with those people, it will help you move forward, and they will inspire you to move forward. They will also give you tips and tricks on how to navigate the professional world and how to build your career. The second thing, which is more of a hard advice, is data science has a lot of applications in the real world. So the best thing you can do is work on a lot of projects. The more projects you work on, the more you're gonna have insights about different fields from different industries on how they use data science on a day-to-day basis. And while working on those projects, think about building a portfolio. This will show how much time you built into learning data science, and will show actually your skills to your future hiring managers.
Wonderful. Invest in your network. You never know who you're going to meet. Could be your manager, could be your next boss. So make sure that you take every opportunity. Thank you so much for sharing. Last but not least, Etop, any words, any learnings and advice that you can give others wanting to pursue a similar career?
So I would recommend they take the foundations, the ALX foundations. It provides different like technology, so you can see how cloud works, you can see how data analytics works. So you could really like understand what you really want to learn. Like you don't have to pursue everything, but you can at least nail it down. So if you aren't sure whether you wanted to learn software development, or if you aren't sure if you wanted to learn data analytics, the foundations will help you explore those. Like it might be brief, but it will help you at least pick between one of those courses. So really take the foundations seriously. Other than that, I recommend that you go to the hub, go to the events that are hosted by ALX, because the people you meet there are really some of especially the events that happen in Ethiopia, they're really impactful. Like people that have a real impact on the tech industry do come and they present their ideas there. So it's really good if you go on network, if you if you communicate with other people, and ALX really teaches you how to network and how to communicate. So I do recommend taking the soft skills seriously, and as well as going to the events.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Nicely said. So it's all about going for it, not regretting it, investing in your networking, and going to the hubs where you'll be able to see people and engage with people who are making impact in your career. Well, we have come to the end of our session. I want to thank our amazing guests. Thank you so much, Kelby, Bada, Etop, for sharing your journeys, your inspiring journeys, and sharing valuable insights. I hope whoever is watching right now, their stories have given you a motivation to take the next step in your tech career. Remember, the tech world is always evolving and opportunities are endless. If you have more questions or want to learn more about the programs, stay connected with the ALX community. You can also visit the alxafrica.com website and register your interest to one of your chosen program. And we also have the ACE program, which is currently open for applications until the 3rd of October. But other than that, thank you so much for joining, everybody, and we look forward to seeing you achieving amazing, amazing things. Until the next time, thank you.